Welcome to the Some Days Today podcast. I have to try to remember the name of this damn podcast. This is episode 7, I believe. We'll see. If not, we'll adjust it. It's episode 7, Some Days Today, and this is the podcast where we encourage you to live your best life starting today. And I think the tagline I came up with last time was, live your life like it's a fucking vacation.
Fucking?
Oh, was it?
I mean, we could do that.
I think that's what it was. But then our
Mike,
friend Mike
said
said
it should be a dream vacation. I don't know.
that may be more
palatable.
I did. It was emphatic.
Well, if that I didn't hear that, but I definitely would go with fucking.
Really?
Yeah,
I think it's pretty emphatic. I mean, what were we doing?
Yeah.
Let's get it done. Live your life like you understand. You got time against you, and it's live your life like it's a fucking vacation.
It's a fucking vacation.
Fucking vacation. Yes. So, right. So this is part 2 of the epic 40th birthday celebration to Europe. Yeah. Part 1 was where we did a summary of our time in Lisbon. If you missed that, please go listen to it. We enjoyed it. It was amazing. It was a slight detour on our way to the real 2 countries that we were going to go to, that we had originally planned on going to, which was Greece and Italy. So in this episode, we'll talk about our time in Greece, right?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Oh, Greece? Well, yeah. Okay, sure. I mean,
it is Greece, right?
It is Greece. Yes, but we also had a stop in Rome. So
That's true. So we can do a quick overview of that. But to just set the stage, so far it's just the 2 couples. It's you and myself and Remy and her husband, IB. So we've been in Portugal for about 3 4 days now, malnourished. And now, and looking for some good food.
You got to go back to the first
to
podcast if you
understand.
don't know what that means.
So on the night of, and I'm looking at the pictures here because I feel like I need to remember all the shenanigans. But I think on the very early morning of August 20th, and not that it matters, but just trying to set the stage. 23rd? Yeah, you're right. Okay. Very early morning of August 23rd, I'm looking at pictures now. We got up, and we hadn't slept. I don't think we slept at all. Because the night before, we were just up all night doing some shenanigans. For an hour. Yeah. So we had to get up early to go catch our flight. And the intention, what the plan was to fly from Portugal to Rome, which really was our final destination with that first leg of the Air Portugal flight.
Yeah. So initially, we were supposed to go to Italy. All right. Because I think just real quick recap and a little setting up stories straight. All right. So initially, here's what happened. I wanted to go to for my 40th, I wanted to go to a spot. I asked one of my friends, who travels a lot, what they would recommend. And they said, definitely Greece. So I'm like, all right, I want to do Greece. And so we started telling people Greece. And then this opportunity came out that we won't spend too much time on, to go to Italy, the Amalfi Coast. And that's another place that I always wanted to go. And I'm like, oh, I love that too. Let's do Amalfi Coast. But our friend Remy, who was traveling with us, Remy and IB, had already been to Italy, and they wanted to do Greece. So we're like, you know what? We're not going to cut anything out because, goddamn, we're going to live our lives like it's a fucking vacation.
And so it literally was a fucking vacation.
So when we initially booked the flight, it was to Rome so that we could and we had some good flights. So we would just take the train over to Naples, which is where, the whole thing was supposed to go down. So then, because we were going to add Greece to it, we now had to figure out a way to get to Greece. And so I'm telling you, I mean, part of the freaking adventure was even before we got there and how we were going to plan everything. Like I said, there were planes, trains, cars,
ferries.
So from Rome now, we had to book a flight to Santorini, and
Santorini, Greece, yeah.
Santorini in Greece, one of the Greek islands. And so this is, woke up very early on the 23rd, Friday the 23rd, to get to Rome.
After our 3-4 day layover in Portugal.
And so this is where we are right now. We are at the airport. Again, had some issues with Air Portugal where they charged us twice to get our baggage onto the plane. But, that, again, is another story that we'll tell later when we totally take down Air Portugal for all of
I think
you
we need
who should not travel on it.
Yeah, we need a whole episode or maybe a blog entry website dedicated
a whole movement.
A whole movement. Kind of like that poor Michelle. Do you know the poor Michelle from Destiny's Child?
Bankrupt Air Portugal now movement.
No, but do you know the poor Michelle site that I'm talking?
Yeah.
There's some fools out there who have a whole site set up to hate on Michelle from Destiny's Child. She can't do right by these people. Every movement she makes, there's a here she goes again. It's just the most hilarious thing. But anyways, yeah, we need a similar thing set up for Air Portugal. Anyway, so that morning, after having slept for like barely an hour, we got on a flight and flew to Rome. Of course, a lot of this trip was a lot of hurry up and wait. Or maybe this was the first leg of our... Yeah, this is the first time of hurry up and wait. So we got to Rome. We boarded our flight and made it... No. We got to Rome. Right? There was a layover. That's what it was.
No. It wasn't a layover. We just explained. What happened is...
Oh, yeah, you're right. Rome was the final destination.
It was the final destination.
Yes, so we got to Rome.
Another flight. We got to Rome.
Before we could take a flight to Santorini, there was a time lag.
Yeah. So
that's what it was.
The flight that we were able to get to Santorini was like at 1 in the morning.
Yes.
The 24th. And would get us to Santorini at 4 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And so...
And we weren't going to board to...
We got there like 10 in the morning. We had like a ton of freaking hours.
Yes. But what time was our flight to Santorini?
At like 1 in the morning.
Oh, 1 in the morning. So we had about a little less than 24 hours to... Yeah, more or less. I don't know. I can't do the math. But
all right. So whatever. The point is, we got there really early, and we had a lot of time. Bola and I had never been to Rome. IB and Remy had been to Rome. They did the whole, Colosseum and all that good stuff. So we had to figure out what to do.
Yeah. So I think the plan was we would just spend the day in Rome. But why it was a little tricky is we got to Rome so early in the morning that most of the shops, the places were closed, so we couldn't figure out where we were going to go next. So we spent a lot of time.
Santorini, I think.
No, we spent a lot of time. Rome was when we decided to rent the Maserati.
Yes. No, so because it was like, where the hell are we going to put our bags?
That's right.
Like, we got our bags here. Where the hell are we going to? So we're like, it was this time to think while the girls are sitting there making fun of us to try to figure out what the hell is going on.
We got all this luggage and had nowhere to put our stuff.
IB and I are sitting there trying to figure out what the hell.
Should we get a hotel or not? That's what I'm thinking. Should we get a hotel or not? In the meantime, for a couple of hours, get some sleep. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, because I think you guys wanted us to just chill at the airport, leave our luggage in a locker.
To do like United's lounge. The lounge for United, and see if we can do that. I don't know exactly what happened. I think we ended up not being able to do it for some reason or another.
Yes. So. Ultimately, decided to get a hotel. At least we could put our stuff there, take a shower, relax, eat if we wanted to, have a home base. Even if we're going to only be in Rome for a little less than 24 hours. When you're traveling, I feel like you kind of need a home base. And I would say that's absolutely the fact if you're traveling with children, because children are not going to do this. But for us, I still felt like we needed a hotel, so I was really pushing for that. I think the guys were trying to say, well, we can make it work, but ultimately we got ourselves a hotel.
Listen, the trip was epic. We had to figure out how we're going to cut some costs. But the issue for us is like, all right, well, we need to put the bag somewhere. What is the best way to do that so we can actually go and explore?
Right.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we got a hotel. And then the guys came through because now we need to figure out how to get from the airport to the hotel. So next thing we know, because Remy and I had been doing quite a bit of complaining, so I think the guys felt like they were losing some favor with us. So they came through with their big, swinging their big D and got us, what?
Really? Anyways, ultimately...
we rented a Maserati.
Yeah.
Which, I don't even know where to go with this. probably wasn't the best decision.
Well, I mean, it was cool.
It was fun.
In fact, when we rented it officially, like the people there, I guess everybody was wondering who was going to rent this damn Maserati. That the people at the desk were clapping.
Yeah. They were probably clapping like, look at these
Maserati.
fools. Only some black people would come here and rent a Maserati. But we sure did. So we rented the Maserati. Amazing. Now we can check that off the list and be like, okay, we've done that. So we went to the hotel, relaxed, and then went to
The
Coliseum. Walked inside, took some pictures.
We got something to eat first. We got some pizza. This
That's
actually
true.
our first time having good food.
A good meal.
Other than the Chinese food in Lisbon.
Yeah, we
So
went
got
to
some
this
pizza.
restaurant right next to the hotel, and the pizza was amazing. I mean, just the individual portion was like a whole pie. And it was only like the equivalent of like $5 or less. Euros, €5. I remember it was like really reasonable. Amazing pizza. I don't even know if we took any pictures. I wish we had, but that was some good food. And
We
I
didn't
think
take
that's
pictures of the food, but we took pictures of
ourselves. Yeah. And I think that's once again when we realized, Lisbon and shit. I mean, because the good food versus not was just like, there's a difference here.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. And then from there, we went to explore Rome. So went into the Colosseum, which we didn't do a tour.
We didn't do a tour. We just went in there.
Yeah. So
at
one
one
of
point,
the
like we just tagged along with the tour and just started walking
behind them,
Then we
trying to
realized
listen.
that
Like,
they
I'm
were
sorry, can
done.
you speak up, please? But they were done and let us outside.
They were like leading us outside.
We're like, no,
It's
we're still doing that.
okay, you
But
were.
so that's my first question for you. Should we have done a tour of the Coliseum? And we have good pictures, but to be honest, I don't even know what the Coliseum is.
Again, I think we said this last time. The tours, I never retain any
We don't remember
information
anyway, so we didn't miss
anyways,
anything.
Unless I'm like going to record the thing. And even then, it's like, am I really going to go back to like hear it and be able to speak on it? I don't retain any of that stuff. And so, no, I think it would probably have been a waste of money, specifically because we weren't there that long. Like, we were just trying to check off stuff at that point.
So we did that. That was great. And then from there, we went to where?
We went to the Vatican.
Yeah, we went to Vatican City.
We actually didn't go in.
We didn't even go in. We
did
just
not
stayed
have
outside.
time. So,
And I think so. I wasn't necessarily all that interested in seeing Vatican City, but I think for those who are religious, maybe, there are lots of Christians who see Vatican City as like their ultimate place.
Catholics specifically.
Maybe Catholics, yeah. So I guess it really depends. For me, I'd seen lots of different, churches with, the gold and, the history, and all of it to me, for the most part, is the same. So I didn't feel like I would have been missing anything. I may be wrong, though. So maybe for those who've been inside,
I would definitely like to go.
You want to go inside?
Yeah, I want to go
Okay.
back and actually go in. I mean, there's also the Sistine Chapel in there as well. So I mean, there are things. I got my dad a tour on his way back from Naples.
Oh, but he didn't make it, right?
He did not make it.
I was going to say
so.
that would have been nice to have him, speak to the benefits and, if he enjoyed it. But
Yeah, but he's also become very religious in his old
That's
age,
true.
So, he'd have a different perspective than you.
That's true. So ultimately, that's pretty much what we did. And then from there, we went back to the hotel, fell asleep. And I think as we were getting ready to settle down and chill and get some drinking in, we realized we got to go because we had a flight to catch.
Yeah. Our flight. I mean, we had to be there a little early. I mean, the time passes so quickly. So we went back, got some wine and, getting ready to go outside and, like, do some relaxation. And I was like, we need to
gotta go.
start heading out.
So once again, we packed everything up in a hurry and went back to the airport so we can catch our flight to Santorini.
Yeah.
I don't remember the flight to Santorini. I must have just passed out, but I
Yeah, it was
remember
late.
it was late, right? But I remember getting to Santorini, and the Airbnb that you guys booked was should have had a car.
They had a car.
They had a car.
They just didn't come at 4 in the morning.
Oh, they didn't
like
come at 4.
The earliest
Okay.
they could come was like 8 to pick us up.
Okay. So another tip. If you're going to rent an Airbnb, or if you're going to travel in general, having a car is a lifesaver. And I think during this leg of the trip, we really saw how having a car, both with the Maserati and, of course, having a car in Santorini kind of made a difference in terms of your flexibility to get around.
It's absolutely important if you're dealing either with Santorini or in Italy, because for Santorini they do not have Uber. They don't have share rides at all. They are protecting their taxi industry. So you're either going to take a taxi or you're not going to get Uber. For Italy, the issue is that it's very expensive. Like the taxis and everything, they're very. We spent so much money on travel in Italy that it was just. Once we ended up in Italy and Naples, it was just ridiculous the amount of money we were spending just to go from place to place. But
yeah, so back to Santorini. So we got there. Once again, we had to wait again for the driver to come pick us up. But this gave us another opportunity to play
another card game.
So I taught them how to play. This was Jackpot, right?
Jackpot.
How to play Jackpot, which was a game that I played growing up with my brothers, my cousins, and it was always a fun, crazy game. A lot of crying sometimes because people get so upset. But overall, it's a partner game.
Upset.
It is upset. It's a partner game where you have to play it in partners, but you can play with as many people as you want, as long as you have a partner. And essentially what it is you and your partner come up with a secret code or a sign to alert each other when you have a complete hand. And a complete hand is when you have 4 of the same suit, essentially.
And you're like passing cards along
and you're passing
that you
cards
don't
around.
want
Yeah.
to the next person beside you, and trying to make a 4 of the same suit as people are handing you over cards and you are handing cards over to the next person.
Exactly. So the point of the game is for the other teams to call suspect if they think one of the members of the opposite team has the suit and they're about to signal to their partner. So you basically just have to pay attention to see if you know what the signal is, how are they trying to get their partner's attention. And then, of course, your partner has to be sure to be paying attention to not only his partner, to you, but also paying attention to, everybody else so that they can call suspect if they think someone has it.
Yeah,
of course, the bigger the group, the crazier it gets. But ultimately, it was a fun game. I believe the women whooped the man's asses in this one. I believe that was what happened.
I believe we never finished the game, and if we had enough time, we would have caught.
So we won to the point where, once again, there were people who were applauding the women because it was such ruckus, and we were so excited. So that was interesting. That was a good way to pass time because, yet again, we got to the airport too damn early and had to figure out what to do with ourselves for about 6-7 hours, right? So, anyways, so finally the driver came to pick us up, and I think that was when everything kind of just opened up for me on this trip, and I realized this is going to be a completely different experience. It was so beautiful, kind of just the windy roads, the countryside and driving. It seemed sort of like I keep saying desert. It felt desertish to me.
Yeah,
mountains, and, dry, but the color scheme was
but
beautiful, and the mountains in the back, and it was just really nice. And then once we got there, very scenic. And once we got there, the house manager was just so nice, had some food for us. Everyone was so pleasant.
Yeah. The house manager was really nice. I remember, she, before we got a car, we needed to get some groceries and alcohol, of course.
Yeah.
And she took us to the grocery store, and then IB tried to give her some money. He's like, are you serious? She was ignoring it. It's the kind of thing is listen, this is what I do this because I'm a good person type of thing. Don't.
This is not for money.
This is not for money. This is what this is how I am. And so she was really, really, really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but Santorini was just amazing. I mean, from the Airbnb that we stayed at with a great hospitality, and it was shared. So it's kind of like a motel-ish. I mean, I wouldn't say motel just because of the connotation that brings, in America, but it's essentially the same where you have your own room, but then there are others who are living there, and then you have shared spaces. So the pool was a shared space. I guess a hotel, but not really a hotel because there's no real enclosed space to it.
And by the way, I think one of the things that we didn't mention last week and this week is like one of the things that kept happening is like we were trying to get the better rooms. So like in Lisbon,
Mack and I were trying to get the better rooms and keep Remy and
Hybe from getting the better room. So anyway, so in Lisbon, real quickly, they got there first. So they got the better room. Our room was freaking shitty. It was small. They had a bathroom in their own room and all that shit. And so,
I didn't realize they had a bathroom until like the third day. I was flabbergasted. What in the world is going on here? Yes.
And then so in Greece, I got in there first, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, I don't want to be close to the door, so I'm going to go to the one in the back. And then it ended up, according to Bola, because I actually thought my room was cool. But
once again, they got the better room. They got the bigger room.
It wasn't bigger. Stop. Okay. It was the same size, but they did have a window.
Not only did they have a window outside, we had an opening to our room. Remember, there was
our window was like an opening to the kitchen.
To the living room. There's no privacy. It was just weird. Once again, Mackins failed to deliver in this regard. So the whole time I'm looking at him like, you don't have to step this game up. I'm not really sure what's going on. But aside from that, St. Trinity was just beautiful. And luckily, did we have a car? Is that what they did? They gave us the car?
Because one of the things we wanted to do, because, I had cousins travel to the Greek islands, and they rented a common thing to do is to rent an ATV.
Yeah.
And so I was like, the whole entire time, I was like, yes, we get into Greece, we're going to get an ATV each. ATV ended up being stupid expensive. And then our hotel manager or whatever the hell it was, they were offering us a car for $30 a day, and it's like, oh, this can't beat that. We're going to be there 2 days, so that's only 30 euros. 30 euros, that's perfect. It was a old-ass rinky-dink car without a radio in it, so we had to bring our own speaker. Oh, which is the other thing that I forgot to mention last week, a takeaway: bring your freaking speaker, have your own music. That will definitely set the tone. We were in beaches everywhere playing our own music and feeling ourselves, not caring what the hell anybody else thought about it.
So we left to explore the downtown of Oia?
It's pronounced different ways. I think Iya is one of the ways they pronounce it, but it's spelled Oia.
Yeah. So we left, and it's just...
We went to Thera first.
Oh, Thera.
Oia was the last place we went. It's a little bit more ritzy.
Okay,
more like, you're ready to spin type of... It's also very beautiful, but, the all white buildings.
And this is where we ate that amazing food next to the Mediterranean, and the scenery was just gorgeous. Great food once again. I mean, just really had an amazing time. The shopping was amazing. I got some great jewelry while we were there. In fact, I wish I had bought more jewelry there. I should have thought about it and planned better. But yeah, so really enjoyed it. Walked around, took amazing pictures. And then I think we also went out that night, right? This is where
was it the same night? We definitely... yes, it was the same night. We came back.
We came
got
back.
Changed.
Yeah.
Went out. Ended up in a club. I mean, the club was just like... I mean, the first place where we went was like essentially the kind of stuff you do if you're... I'm going to say that if you're a white person. Like, you're not really dancing. You're just sitting there talking by the bar.
That's why they had the club music.
Yeah.
Right?
And then, and then we went into another section where we actually saw people dancing. Like, this is more like it. Like, I'm in a club. I'm not here.
Oh, yeah, that's
to be
true.
At a bar. We saw people dancing.
There were different sections
downstairs.
to the club. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the it was still like EDM or whatever the hell music it was. But we noticed people dancing. So we're in there like, just getting it on. And then like, I didn't realize this at all until Ivy was like, you're in the
a gay bar
section, right? That's the gay. That's why they're dancing.
But that was fun. That's where all the people
like,
who
I didn't notice. I was like, I noticed this dude was like really close to the other dude, but I'm like,
you were always also convinced somebody was trying to pick you up.
I mean.
Okay.
Mack was convinced all these men were after him, which, okay. So
what can I say?
So that was good. So we had a good time. And then we went to eat. Remember the pizza we had? We also had great pizza when we couldn't find Remy and IB at one point. You and I left. No. We left the EDM club to go to a reggae spot.
It was... well, they were playing reggae night. Like we heard them playing a reggae night in African music. So we're like, oh, we're definitely going in here.
So we went in.
It was not as popular. There was like a few people in there.
But it was amazing music.
I mean,
we were just having a good time. We ran into this Ghanaian couple that you got their number. Yeah. So we had a good time and then left to get some pizza, some food. Mm-hmm. But overall, just an amazing night. Came back home. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I mean, different people from different places acting a fool.
Yeah. And then went home, went to sleep. Then the next morning, we went to this beachy part of...
Black Sand Beach.
Yeah, this Black Sand Beach, ate there. Got some souvenirs. That's where we got the artwork.
Yeah, some dude was walking by. I'm like... And Bowl is always, like, they're always entertaining these people trying to sell us stuff. I'm like, oh, my God, here we go. So, yeah, come over here.
Yeah. It's this African guy selling artwork, and they ended up being nice pieces, I thought.
Yeah, they were nice pieces.
And I'm glad we got them because they was a nice reminder of our time there.
Yeah. This guy also had the hookup. So, he was able to give us some
alrighty.
things to help our night. So...
yes, Mack was looking for the hookup the whole time. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so we, so that was amazing. We were on the beach taking pictures.
I found the hookup every place we went.
Yes, and the guy, that was your guy.
That was my guy.
That time, yeah. So we went home that night, and I think the next day we left to go to Mykonos.
Yeah, actually that's when we went to Iya that night. After we left the beach, we went to Iya.
Mm-hmm.
And Oya.
Oya was where we drove around, and it was essentially like the Thera place, but more ritzy, more expensive. There weren't as many young people there. Just a different vibe.
It's not as it wasn't as party like.
Yeah,
and even
but it was still
Santorini
beautiful.
Was also not really like, because I remember either the first, I think it was the first night, or one of the nights we came back. And the place was dead, essentially. Like, it was like, because we had earlier, and it was just like packed. And then we came back like it was like 12
so they don't party
like,
well into the night. I think we were expecting it to be more like Barcelona, where parties don't start till 1 o'clock.
But Well, and that might be more Mykonos than Santorini. We actually didn't party at Mykonos, but that's the next leg. And so...
so then how did we...
beautiful and peaceful. It's kind of, like if you could just sit there and chill like the whole time. Like, this is the place where I would just go back just to be like, all right, I'm just having a real vacation where I'm just relaxing, reading the books, laying by the water, that kind of thing.
The mountains behind you. Yeah. So from there, I think we went home and we were getting ready to go to Mykonos. So Mykonos was going to be our next leg. And how did we get to Mykonos? That was when we took the ferry.
That was the ferry. That was our first ferry.
Yeah. So woke up, dropped off the car, got to the ferry, and how long did it take to get to Mykonos? About 4 hours on a ferry?
That long? Yeah, maybe.
I think so. Yeah. It was about 4 hours.
Wow, that went fast actually. Then.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like that long.
Yeah, but it was beautiful. Kind of just being out on the water, traveling with other people, beautiful scenery, and then went to Mykonos, and we got this this villa type place.
It was
another
hotel.
Airbnb. Was it a hotel?
It was a hotel. It was was it Airbnb? It could have. I could have gotten it through Airbnb. I don't even remember.
It felt like a villa though. It wasn't.
It wasn't a hotel. Like, it was just like a little spot. I mean, we had our separate rooms this time. This is the first time we got a separate room.
Once again, Mack failed to deliver with a better room. Here he is. Actually, the guy
kind of screwed us.
So there was
specifically like, I was ahead and I was talking to the guy. He's like, "Oh,
this is the hotel guy who was taking us to our individual rooms." So Mack asked him, "Which is the better room?" And he told Mack, "Oh, they're pretty much the same. Just go ahead. You might as well just pick one." So Mack chose the first one that we stopped that. And apparently the guy ended up telling Remy and them that
this room is
actually so the guy was out to get us. And I didn't even realize yet again until I went to see Remy and them, and I was like, what is going on? Their room was like night and day compared to us. It was they had a balcony, outdoor seating area.
Yeah. It was like a place where they could lounge outside. We had like a block. Like
it was retarded. Once again, we got screwed.
They had double doors or something like that?
They had double doors. We had to squeeze in to get into our room.
It was just ridiculous.
But whatever. But Mykonos was nice. We had amazing food. I'm just taking a look at the pictures once again. But I think we had more of a laid back, relaxed time.
We chilled that
in
night.
Mykonos.
You know, because we didn't actually we initially were like, because in Mykonos we got there, got our room, went back out into the town. This is where we sat down, had some beautiful pictures, man. The white.
That's
true.
There,
they had, like,
this
a
is where we went.
area.
What was the name of that place? The downtown area where we were right by the Mediterranean with the water crashing against
we sat near a restaurant where they were like, if you're going to sit here to see the sunset, you've got to buy some drinks.
Yeah.
I think it was like a 2-drink minimum or some crap like that. So we sat and, it was
just waited for the sun to set, and it was just amazing.
Gorgeous.
Once again, what I realized is... And I was saying this while we were there, depending on where you go in America, there's some places that are just uber exclusive that you will never gain access to because it's beyond your pay grade and whatever money you have. Or maybe you just don't even know about it. That's what that place felt like. Like, I felt like this is the life of the rich and famous, and I should not be there. And so...
you're rich and famous, babe.
Amen. Amen to that. But my whole point being, we're so caught up in the life that we're living and the spaces we found ourselves in America that you could easily change it by going somewhere else, and all of a sudden you're experiencing all of these things that you don't even realize are accessible. I mean, it was so beautiful. Literally, the service was amazing. Everyone's beautiful.
Like the pictures, they're like paintings.
It was amazing. So we saw this Nigerian guy. And we were asking him if he knew.
Of course, because we're in Greece. So we were asking about Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, if he knew him and everything. So just playing around with him.
Was he the dude that said his brother played with?
Yeah,
he played
of course,
with basketball
he knew
with his
him.
brother.
Yeah. So,
anyways,
but I think
another thing is you found one of your the people you follow on Instagram was
that's
also there
true,
at the same
gorgeous. So I'm on Instagram. I'm recently back on Instagram. I don't know what I'm doing on Instagram, but I specifically actually created Cool Black People Travel account. Another story about that for another day. Yeah. Why I created that, but
because we're trying to get sponsorships.
Yeah, but it was as a counter against Young Black People Travel. Remember?
Oh well, the name.
Yeah, the name.
But the Instagram account, I don't think was for them.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I've been on Instagram lately, following different influencers, and just amazed at the fact that they get to travel all over the world. So one of the influencers that I follow. Just happened to be there, so I'm looking at her.
Same spot. Having to drink the same drinks.
Yeah, her name is Hey Gorgeous, and she has like quite a following. I think it's like 30,000, maybe 300,000. I don't know, followers on Instagram. So I was fanning out, but I didn't want to. I was gonna go say hi, but then you guys told me I look like her auntie, that I'm too damn old to be fanning out.
I didn't tell you that. I told you should go talk to her.
Oh, you did say it. It was IB. Yeah, who said, she's a little child. Why would you go? So, whatever. The point is, missed my opportunity to come up off of another influencer. But whatever. So that was interesting. What I'm trying to get to, because I know we're quickly running out of time, isn't this the night that we got chased by the...
This is it.
Okay.
So on our way... So once we left, because we were like, seriously, we were freaking exhausted. All the shenanigans
were tired.
that
there was
we
so
were
much.
going, like we did not get too much sleep. Like the most amount of sleep we got was probably on a trip to Santorini. You know what I mean? So we didn't really get that much. We were exhausted.
We're trying to slow down. Yeah.
So
we wanted an easy night.
Right. But the thing is, so we were only going to be in Mykonos for a short time because we wanted to hit Athens, and then we had to be in Naples. Within a certain time. So,
and unlike Santorini, we didn't have a car.
We didn't have
in
a car, so we
Mykonos.
actually had to take a bus
So
downtown.
we took a
to
bus
where
downtown,
we were. And then, we were like, okay, there's another spot to hit where the party is, and we never actually got to the party because once we got back, got on the bus, got back, walked to our hotel, and we're trying to figure out where the hotel is because now it's dark and we can't really tell where the hell this is. So we're walking to where we thought it was, and as I'm walking, I see this freaking dark figure moving, and I'm like, yo.
Because we're walking through a residential area to get to our hotel. And residential meaning there are dogs in the backyards and everything. So as we're passing through this area,
behind the fence, but
there was something
it was like
chasing.
I was like, who is this? What is this thing? I think this somebody. Nobody's seen it but me first. So it was like, what is he talking about? And then the thing just started getting closer.
So we looked to the side and saw this figure that is like running towards us. And now the fence was pretty low, right? Like it wasn't a large fence. It was pretty low. So this thing is running.
Not too low, but it was low enough that I thought it could probably jump over
the fence. So this thing is running towards us, and I panic. So I think we all start running, and Mack came through by staring. What was it? Once again,
I think it was a donkey.
It was a donkey.
Like, that's weird because why the hell is a donkey coming after us? Like it was just running after us.
And not only that, it was growling. It was threatening us. It was about to jump. I mean, at some point, I just knew we have come to Mykonos to die because this thing is going to attack us. And we couldn't really figure out what it was until afterwards when we put it together. I thought it was some sort, like a dog of some sort, because how loud it was growling and how angry it was. I didn't realize donkeys were so aggressive. It was pretty crazy.
That was freaking
so
weird.
Mack stared it down.
Yeah, because as we kept moving and then it kept on going. So I'm like, all right, so
to the rest of us,
if it has somebody there, it's not gonna keep on chasing. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just stay here to give the girls an opportunity to just keep it moving.
Away.
And I'm like, all right, I think if it jumps the fence, I'm looking back like, all right, I think I could also jump a fence that was behind me if I'm fast enough. So, I'm sitting there like staring at it. It's looking at me. It starts freaking squealing, like doing some kind of freaking noise. But after, I felt like, okay, the girls got enough distance. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start walking. And it stopped following.
And it just backed away. That was weird. That was so weird. So we went back to the hotel and just chilled, got pizza for the rest of the night, and then went to sleep. And then the next morning is when we went to Athens to now meet up with two other couples. So how did we get to Athens from Mykonos? Ferry. So we took another ferry, another 4-hour ferry to Athens, and got to Athens, met up with... actually, before we met up with them, we did a bike tour. Right?
Yeah. Yes, we did a bike tour before we met with Mike, Reese, and Alvin, and Yemisi.
Yes. So our college friends from college, we traveled with them to Barcelona the year before. So so they were going to be on our trip with us, but they weren't going to do Portugal. So we ended up meeting them in Athens, and we had dinner with them. But before the night, because we didn't meet up with them until late at night, we checked into a nice Airbnb yet again.
It was decent. I don't know. I wouldn't even go as far as calling it nice. We had some issues with that dude because, first of all, I didn't tell them how many people we had because it was like, okay, well, first it was like 2 rooms. It was like, okay, well, it's an Airbnb. I can have as many people as I want. So I didn't tell them. But he wanted to charge me per head.
Yeah.
So
once we got there.
Yeah. So like once we got there, his mom came in. His mom is the manager, and she saw it was 2 people because the girls went to get something to eat, and so it was me and Ivy waiting for the mom to get there and get upstairs. So, it was like 2 people. You got to pay more. I'm like, all right, okay, fine, we'll pay more. After arguing with them, I was like, you know what, we'll pay more. But since he didn't know about the other girls, I was like, yeah, it's just us 2. So we got upstairs. And this was now my opportunity to freaking get the good room.
Yes.
And I finally came through.
So Matt came through with the good room. How did you do it? Tell the people how you did it.
So I get upstairs, and I'm like...
Remy and I were downstairs at a restaurant eating.
And I tell IB, yo, go tell the girls don't show up yet so we don't have to pay for the extra 2 heads. And so he goes out, and I promptly go and establish my territory in the good room.
You had the chance to look through the rooms, assess it, and then decided where to put our luggages. So
yeah, put my luggage in the room. We had like a big bed. These guys had like two twin beds.
2 separate beds. Ain't no cuddling going on that night. Nope.
They had 2 separate beds. It was like separated by like a nightstand or whatever the hell it was.
They couldn't even push it together, I don't think. So sad. But yeah, so that was good. You came through on that one.
Yeah, I had to try to redeem. But yeah, so then we went to get the tour that we had,
the bike tour.
The bike tour.
So that was nice. So we just drove around the city. We didn't really do too much. Rode around the city. It was a nice tour.
We didn't actually go to the Parthenon and and all that good stuff. We saw it from afar and like we took pictures there, but. And then we thought we were going to do it eventually. The next morning, but we ended up not doing that either.
Yeah. And then we went back, changed, and then met with Mike and them for dinner. And
nice restaurant,
but in this nice area in Athens, and I forget the name of it. I think it's called Plaka or something. But honestly, I think I underestimated Athens going into this because a lot of people had said you don't need to spend that much time there. So we really only planned on spending a day and then being out. But to be honest, I will go back to Athens and spend more time because I actually the food, of course, is amazing. Everywhere we went to eat in all of Greece, the food was amazing. But I also like the vibe and the whimsy of certain places in Athens, at least where we were eating.
I think the issue is that we didn't have as much time. Now, I think part of the reason people say when we were being told of where to stay when we were in Greece, not to stay more than a day, is because, a lot of people come to Athens just to see the historical sites. You see that, and it's like, okay, what else am I going to do there? I don't know for sure. It felt a lot like Spain in terms of like the vibrant nature. Is like a lot of people out there and that sort of thing, and walking around, and the food and the, being able to sit outside and eat. All of that felt very much like Spain, and so I think that's what you're referring to as going back. But the truth is, I'm wondering, how much of that can you do? Like you've done that one night fully because we didn't get a chance to fully do that, but then. After that, then how much of that are you going to do the next couple of days? I remember when we stayed at Spain in Barcelona a couple days, like we were like, all right, well, what else is there? Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm saying? And then we ended up going to Madrid.
Maybe, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to spend more time there. But I think we could have done a lot of the landmark visits, to visit the different places, and also there was like we could have taken a boat out to explore different parts of the country as well. But overall, a great night. It was finally good to meet up with with 4 other people that we had an amazing time with.
Yeah,
and we had
great conversation.
So once again, the energy shifted. Yeah, the energy shifted, and we knew that the first leg, where it was just the 4 of us, was coming to an end, and so that night sort of marked the beginning of us meeting with a larger group. So after that night, we went back, and the next day was us
had to go back to the airport.
Going to the airport so we could start the third leg, which is where we would go to Naples and meet up with the rest of the group for the remainder of the trip.
All right.
So overall, Greece was amazing. I had a great time. I liked that we did the 3 different places just to get a better feel for it. But I feel like there's probably still so much more to Greece that we can go see and experience. But it will definitely it's at the top of my list for a place to go back to.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of takeaways, how we did this the last time, any real takeaways or...
So I like I said, the music piece was good. Like I know, like the one our car didn't have music, so bringing your own music, being able to have your speaker there and playing your music, I think that was really good. I recommend it every time.
Right. And I think if the group size is manageable, I say get a car. You need to be mobile. I think it's important to be mobile. Even though I do like the ability to explore like the locals do by getting on the bus, but I feel like you're still somewhat limited. So maybe what it is you have a car, but you still choose to experience the city like the locals do by getting on their local bus and seeing where it takes you.
I mean, I think in Santorini you definitely needed a car. Because the places where at least where we were staying, we needed it was too far for us not to have a car. You know, taking the bus, I don't even know if there was that option. I didn't ask. But actually, I think I did ask. It was going to take way too long. It would be ridiculous to try to do everything that we were trying to do. It just would take away from your time and experience. And Mykonos, we were relatively close to the downtown area. We never made it to the spot where we were supposed to party, so I don't know how close that would be. But and it was also late, so we probably would have had to take a taxi or something anyways. But yeah, I mean, if you're not in a place where it's big city, where you have to find a place to park, I definitely recommend a car as well.
So that's it. I mean, I don't know that I have any other takeaways, but Greece was great times. Once again, great people, and I would definitely go back.
Yeah.
Nothing but love. So with that, I guess we'll wrap up today's episode of Someday is Today. And
live your life like it's a fucking
vacation. So on our next episode, we'll wrap up the series of talking about what we did on our Europe tour by going into details about our Italy portion of the trip. So, all right. Until then, adios.